Hello, and welcome to the Pro Series Conversations from CheckBox Pro. My name is Missy, and I'm the founder of CheckBox Pro, where we help school leaders become their most efficient and effective selves by matching them with ed-focused executive assistants. Each member of our team has over 10 years of experience in the education sphere, and though we may consider ourselves pros in some areas, we can't be an expert in every area. This is why we are excited to bring folks working in the education space to offer tools, tips, and insights to make the life of a school leader even more sustainable. All right, doing something a little bit different on today's episode. I got this idea from Emily P. Freeman, who is the host of The Next Right Thing, author, great, love her, been following her for years. And then Kendra Adachi from The Lazy Genius. They both do these types of episodes about once a quarter, and it's called What's Saving My Life. And they're fun. And I get really cool ideas about just little things that are saving their lives, big things that are saving their lives, material things, relational things, just all of that. They learned this term from Barbara Brown Taylor. And so they've incorporated it into their podcast over the years. And like I said, I've just been enjoying it. So I was like, I'm going to try this because I'm terrible about reflecting on the things that are working in my life and the things that aren't working. And by extension, then the things that are saving my life. So that is going to be today's episode. I'm going to potentially do these once a quarter because I can. And I want to. So I've made a little list for myself. Also, feels such like a different episode, not having a guest to talk to, and y'all are just going to kind of be stuck with my voice for a little bit. But here we go. And like I said, some of these things cost money that are saving my life. Some of them are just people that are saving my life, or a new skill that is saving my life. So hopefully as you're listening, you will be thinking about what's saving your life. And whether you are in education or like the nonprofit sector, where life is very hard sometimes, their stakes are high. You kind of need to hold on to those things that are working for you and remember them. So without further ado, I have 10 for us today. I had more. I limited myself to 10, and they're in no real particular order except for the first one, because all good things must start with coffee. I think I've mentioned this in one of my newsletters before that I subscribe to a coffee subscription called Cometeer. For those of you who know my coffee journey, it started back with my sophomore year of college, where I was trying to pull an all-nighter or at least stay up past 10 p.m. and was really stressed because I was so exhausted. And my friend went into the Starbucks and got for me probably a venti frappuccino, but like did even extra shots. And she goes, "You can sneak in more caffeine in a sugary drink." And so I started with that. That was my first kind of intro into coffee. And I have slowly weaned myself off all of the sugar and extras in coffee. And I'm now down to pretty much just drinking black coffee. But my favorite, and the one that really got me to the place of like eliminating all creamer, is Cometeer. And it is flash frozen. I don't know how it works. I don't know enough, but it comes in little recyclable pods like a Keurig, and we keep them in the freezer. I have an electric kettle. And every morning, either me or my husband, when more often than not is the one who preps my coffee for me, just makes me a little Cometeer coffee. But it just gets dropped off at my door like once a month, and just comes in 4 boxes of these. And I drink those, and it just makes life really good, y'all. It just makes life, again, I think as we age, we need that coffee. For those of you who have managed to navigate life without coffee, kudos to you. I'm impressed. But it is the thing that I look forward to when I go to bed at night. Is like when I wake up, I get to have my cup of Cometeer coffee, and all will be right in the world. So that is the thing that is saving my life and getting me up out of bed every single day is Cometeer coffee. Number 2, book clubs. I haven't done those regularly. And all of a sudden, within the last probably year, I've joined 2 different book clubs. I have one that is in my neighborhood. So it is several of the women in the neighborhood where we're in a new community. And so all of us, I think, we're just wanting to connect and be good neighbors and learn who was, living next door to us. So we started a book club, and it's been great because it's women from all kinds of different walks of life and ages, and they are recommending books that I probably never would have heard of. And so it's been really fun to be able to get to know my neighbors, but then get to know new books. And as somebody I do love reading, but I'm also very tired as a mom of littles. And so it's nice to have a book club that gives me a goal. Like, I've got to finish this book in advance of book clubs so that I, one, don't get something spoiled for me, but two, can contribute to a conversation about something other than work and children. So that's been really great. And then my other book club is even less formal, but it is with 3 dear friends from Memphis, which is where I spent my 20s. And we have a woman in her 70s, and we have a woman in her 50s. And then there's 2 of us that are in our 30s. And these people are just so dear and sweet, to the point where last year for my birthday, they all flew in from Memphis to do an in-person book club, because obviously we've been doing it virtual. They are all in Memphis still, but it was just really great. So it's just, again, another fun cross-section of ages and walks of life. But for that book club especially, it's saving my life because it's keeping me connected to really important people that I love and respect. And so it's book club really has just become a conduit to stay connected or get connected to new people. So less about the reading, though I do love it, and more about the people, which is more important to me. And so finding a way to blend the two has been great and saving my life. So that's number 2. The third thing saving my life is connected to book club. And it's probably the only reason I'm able to do book club successfully, is I finally broke down and got an Audible subscription, and it's been a game changer. I'm not great where I can read 2 books at the same time, even especially if they have any sort of common thread, if I have that unlucky thing happen to me. But I can read a book and I can listen to a book. And so that's how I've been able to master 2 book clubs / just having my own little side read of the things that I want to read. And so that's been great. And it was a little bit, I'm very frugal and I don't like spending money, but this was such a good investment, and I am glad I did it. I will never go back. I shouldn't say that. Life happens, but my hope is that I will always be able to have my Audible subscription. And for those of you who struggle with finding time to read, it's a great way in which to do it on your commute, or as I'm doing dishes. Again, I'm usually multitasking with my Audible, so that's nice too, as I can kind of churn through a book pretty quickly. So thank you, Audible, for existing for me. And I know some people's libraries, I could get some of these audiobooks at the library. They're always on, there's always a several weeks wait. And I don't have that kind of time to wait. So this allows me to stay on top of it and make sure I get everything done before book club. So that's number 3, Audible. Number 4 is, I am on an all women's soccer team. It is what do they call it? No, I guess it's not an over 30s. It's just over 18. But most of us are in our 30s, and we're still playing soccer, and it's great. I started playing soccer back in elementary school, played all the way through high school, didn't play in college, wasn't part of an intramural team or anything. I just kind of fell out of it. And then moving into adulthood, found a co-ed team in Memphis, really enjoyed it. Had kids, had to take off. Anyways, after having my second, I found this women's team, and it's just been a gift. I get to move my body once a week. It's outside, so I get the vitamin D. It just puts me in such a happy place. I'm sure my family is very thankful as well that I have soccer, because it is an outlet. I'm pretty competitive. And so it gives me a place to channel that. But again, connection, like meeting people with common interest has been really fun. That I don't really have in other spaces. So to be able to share that, and then I like being outside. I like to move my body. And this team has been really great. They're pretty positive. We're pretty good. I'm not going to brag. Like this season, we are undefeated. We've only had 2 goals scored on us. I just scored a goal, which I'm not a goal scorer, but I just scored a goal last week. I'm feeling pretty good about that. When I leave to go play soccer, my girls usually tell me, they're like, okay, make sure you score a goal. I always come home and I'm like, didn't score. And they're like, what are you doing? Like, why do you go out here if you're not even going to score goals? But yeah, scored one last week. So I got to report good news back to my children. So that's number 4 is soccer. And I don't think, other fun thing, this last week, one of the women on our team turned, her birthday was on Sunday, and she was turning 64. 64, and this woman is still out there playing with us. So I now have life goals. If I can be playing at 64 on a team with 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds, I've done something right. So that's a life goal there, is to be able to still play soccer at that age. Okay, that was number 4. Number 5, I don't know if any of you all have heard of this. I'm sure you have. It's Marco Polo. Not the game that you play in the water. This is an app that is like video communication. I found it, it's been several years now. But for whatever reason, my best friend and I, who we live in the same state, like we're only like an hour and a half drive away from one another. But she's got 3 kiddos. I've got 2. We both work. Her kids are older and on all the sports. And anyways, you all get it. If you have kids, you understand. That time is challenging to make time and space to be able to see your people in real life. But this has allowed us to stay connected. So I think we Marco Polo almost every single day about the most mundane things you could possibly imagine. It could be about how poorly, the morning routine went. It could be just to catch up about our weekend. It could be about something we're reading or something we watched, or truly just like the bad hair day we're having. And because, again, it's a video and you're like, oh my goodness, I've been walking around looking like this all day and nobody told me. And now I'm seeing it for the first time, trying to Marco Polo you, and how embarrassing. And we just kind of go into those rants. So it's just this slow, steady drip that kind of feels like we are still doing life together, even though we're not in the same space. She was a roommate of mine in college. So we truly did. And we were like the same major, lived together. We're in the same, we did Young Life together. So we were in the same circle there. And so truly it was like, do we ever not see each other? So this feels like a way in which to still stay connected, not actually ever see each other in the flesh, which is a goal of ours too, is to do that a little bit more. So if you're missing your people, whether they live in the same city or, not, Marco Polo is a great way in which to stay connected to them, and in a very low lift way. Again, we do this sometimes while I'm making lunches for the girls in the evenings, and I just prop up my phone, give her an update, and then I'm on my merry way. So that was number 5, Marco Polo. Number 6 is, I'm really realizing so many of these are people oriented, which again, kind of makes sense, but I didn't realize how much it's saving my life coming out of this spring semester as we kind of move into summer. But having a team. So for those who may or may not have listened to an early episode about kind of the history of CheckBox Pro, but when I started this back in 2019, I was a one-woman show for quite a while. It's very lonely, especially coming out of working at a school where there's energy around you all the time and people around you all the time. Having a team now where I've got, I think I've got 5 other account managers, because we just added one, right? So I've got 5 other account managers who are doing client-facing services. And then I've got an ops manager who I connect with once a week just on the operations of the business. And it's just really helpful to have people who are doing the same work, who are able to push my thinking, who are able to just like laugh with and vent with and problem solve with and all of that. And I didn't realize how important it was until I get on my weekly calls with them. And I'm like, this is a really fun group of people that I get to work with. And again, all virtual for the most part, but just similar stages of life. It's really fun to learn from them and to laugh with them. Like we all have some, or not all, but a lot of us have kids that are still like either in pull-ups or potty training or newly potty trained. And so almost half of a call recently was just about the woes of trying to get your kid out of pull-ups at night. So it's just been a good community to have. So that is, what was that? That was number 6. Number 6, having a team again is really, really great. Number 7, again, these are in no order. These are just truly all over the place. Number 7 is we do pizza movie night as a family every single Friday. We've been doing that. Gosh, are we going on 2 years? It might be longer with my oldest. Started it kind of informally with her. And then now that my youngest is old enough to hang, she's 4. So she's able to hang a little bit later in the evening. So every Friday, it's just a great way to end a very busy week, or like we are all exhausted, whether it be from school or now we're in summer, so we're still exhausted from camps, but coming out of school day weeks and work weeks and all the things. And so to be able to kind of go on autopilot on Fridays is really great. We just come home, we kind of regroup for a minute. We know we're going to have pizza. We know we're going to have popcorn. We know we're going to watch a movie. We may get some candy. Is really fun. And then it's fun to kind of we of course watch some new movies that the girls are into, but it's also showing them a lot of our old movies that we've enjoyed. And so that's been really fun. I'm trying to think of one recently. Well, let's see. We did The Sandlot, which please don't judge me if you're listening to this and a parent and you're like, why is your 4-year-old watching The Sandlot? Guys, we're all going to mess up in some ways in parenting. So this is just my mess up of choice, I guess. But Sandlot, they've really enjoyed. And then Jurassic Park, my 4-year-old was obsessed with Jurassic Park, like just thought this was so amazing. So I don't know what that says about the future of our movie watching, but she loved Jurassic Park. So anyways, pizza movie night, having that one thing in the week that we can all look forward to, we are all working towards, and we know we're going to be together as a family. And I think for me, it's really fun because I know that this stage where they want to hang out with me is not forever, as I've heard from like parents, who have older kids. So my kids are always going to want to hang out with me. And or they're going to have activities that are happening Friday nights, and like, it's just not going to be able to be part of a routine, but right now it can. And that's really sweet. And my children pile on top of me, which sometimes I would love bodily autonomy, but also I have to try to remember it's such a short and sweet season. And so for right now, they want to just sit on my lap and pile on top of me. I'm going to let it happen. So that was number 7 is pizza movie night. And I know we're not the only families who do something similar to this. But it's really great. Number 8, I learned to curl my hair. Legit, like this, I think this quarter, I learned how to curl my hair. I've never been great with a curling iron. I've never had the wand. I could not, like, my hands and my arm, like over, I just couldn't. I couldn't figure it out. Couldn't do it for myself. Couldn't do it for others. I was a hot mess. So really, my hair was always either straight or was in a ponytail. So I really wanted to learn how to curl my hair. And I mentioned it to one of the women at my gym. And the next day, she brought her curling iron. And we had, like, no joke, 5 minutes. And she went and she taught me how to curl my hair. And then she sent me a tutorial video because she was like, oh, I want to show you how to apply the hairspray or whatever else after. And so she sent me a tutorial video. And it has saved my life. Like, it just feels a little bit elevated. She taught me the way that doesn't going to take me forever. I was taking so long before when I tried to do it. And now I can get it done, my whole head of hair, in like 10 minutes or less, which is a lifesaver because I just feel a little bit more elevated the days that I have my hair curled. It's just fun. And so, yeah, as somebody who works from home most of the time and doesn't have to like get dressed, this is a way for me to kind of invest in myself a little bit and feel a little bit put together. And it's been really fun. So, curling my hair was number 8. See, little skill. Number 9, we're almost there, everybody. Number 9 is, this is the second summer I've done it, but my husband and I have started planning for summer in March. And that means like I print out 3 June, July, August calendars, and I pull up all of our camp options, and I reach out to all of the in-laws who would be traveling in and friends and families who think they might come in for the summer, and I map it all out. And it has just been a load off my brain to be able to not think about it after March. We get all of them registered for all of their camps, which for some people that March might be too late. You might need to start in January, but definitely by March, you should probably have your camps locked up. If you don't, you might not get camps, which is crazy, but that is the situation that we all live in now. So what I did last year, because I'm a very like ordered person, is I made a spreadsheet, and I love a spreadsheet. So I made a spreadsheet and I listed all the camps. I listed the price. I listed the dates that it offered, the times, how far it was from our house, if they had a cancellation policy or like a refund policy. I made notes about just like lunch or snacks or things that needed to be provided. Whether they had early drop off or late pickup. And then the age groups, because that's been key this year, is I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. And so my 6-year-old's fine. She can do everything pretty much. The 4-year-old's real tricky. There's not a whole lot of camp options out there for a 4-year-old. Who's not going into kinder next year. She's only going into pre-K 4. So that's been a tricky summer. But having planned it in March and using a template from the previous year just helped things go so much, was a lot smoother this spring semester. And having that was clutch and truly saved my life, because the spring semester, if anybody who's in education right knows, like the spring is just crazy. So getting that done over spring break, and then got to allow me to just kind of coast through the rest of the spring semester. So that was saving my life. I might try to link that template. It's not anything fancy, but I might link it, the bones of it. So if you are in that phase of life where you are having to do the summer camp Tetris and puzzle, this might be just helpful to have year over year, so you know, okay, what was good and what wasn't. Because that's the other thing, is my oldest did a camp last year and she hated it, like with a passion. She hated it. So I leave it on there so that I remember the name of the camp. And I said, absolutely not. Do not ever go here. So that's been helpful to have. And then I can kind of just do a rank system from there. But also prices is helpful too, right? So I can kind of see where our investment is over the summer break. And for those of you who are in the stage where your kids can stay home, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of you, and we will be there. But right now, lots of camps. Okay, that was number 9. Okay, last one, we did it. Number 10. This feels silly to say. And for anybody out there who does not drink alcohol, like you can still have, this can still be relatable. But my husband makes me cocktails. I don't drink beer. I'll drink like a seltzer type thing. I like them. They're fine, but it feels more like if I'm sitting at a pool, I want maybe something like that. But in the evening, like on a Friday pizza movie night, going back to pizza movie night, right? That's the other thing, is when we get home and we're wound down, but we're not quite ready to start the movie, like my husband will make me a cocktail. And we will just talk about our day and like our week and going into our weekend while we have a little bit of time before the movie starts. And it's really lovely. It's really lovely. So he'll make me a martini or a Negroni, or I don't remember an old fashioned, like all kinds of different things. Whatever we kind of have handy is what he makes. And I joke all the time that I'm like, I don't know what I will do if something happens to you, because I won't ever have another cocktail a day of my life if I'm not at a restaurant. So it's just, this kind of bookends nicely, right? With number one was like my husband will generally make me my coffee in the morning, which is really sweet and just livens me up. And then he exclusively makes me cocktails. Like he doesn't, he like, I don't know, he's the only one. If he's not making it for me, I'm not having one. So he makes me cocktails in the evening, on a weekend. And it's just really fun. And it's just a really lovely time of connection before we transition into like the next crazy thing, for the weekend or the night. So those are my 10 things. So Cometeer Coffee, Book Club, Audible, soccer, Marco Polo, having a team, pizza movie night, learning to curl my hair, planning summer in March, and then my husband making me cocktails. So, friends, if you're out there and needing to be reminded of some good things happening in your life or what's saving your life, this is a really cool and easy practice. I've actually really appreciated it. I now have a note on my phone where I'm going to be tracking them. And once a quarter, I will be sharing them with you all. I will put a link to Cometeer Coffee if you all are interested in that. I want to let y'all know about Cometeer so you know where to find them. Also, it's Cometeer. Is that right? No, I'm not so sure. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, so check them out. I don't get ads. I don't know, whatever that, I'm not monetized for any of these recommendations. So these truly are just my recommendations, not monetized. Okay, that's all I got for us today. Thanks for hanging with me for 30 minutes. So gosh, man, I can talk for a long time about some things, but they're fun. I appreciate it. So for you that are new here, this is a one-off type episode. For those of you that have been listening, this is just a different episode, and one that you might see pop up in the next quarter. So without further ado, congrats on making it through the spring semester, and we move into summer. I hope everybody's summers go well, and we will chat with you all next time. All right, bye. Thank you all for listening to today's Pro Series conversation.